everybody on the live feed. Welcome to the IFSC Africa Continental Championship. This is Alistair, your commentator for this evening. I am once again rolling solo, but I think we'll make it. A little later on with the ladies' final, Boulder and Lead, and I'll get someone to join me in the commentary box. Our first coming on out, and he's doing pretty well after the bouldering, and coming on out for the lead. Yes, Jason, that's sick, dude. that top draw. Nice shoulder move, using the feet to press his body across. Just below where we saw Alistair Stubbs fall. Getting a good foot there. Nice big move, super controlled from Mal. Really nice climbing. Less than half of the time he's got available. Clips the top there. Little shake to the crowd. All right, that's what I'm talking about. What up? Yeah, kick me out of my little posse. You can set up here, yeah, that's good. Yeah. In this move also. That's not bad. I just talk shit. See the crowd super chuffed with that first top of the day. Mel's our third climber out. Currently ranked second after the boulders. And we've had Jack already climbing, is currently ranked third. And next climber coming out, we've got Nicholas Allen from South Africa, from Cape Town. So you'll hear my voice on the live feed, and every now and then I'll be commentating to the crowd as well. But this little section's all for you guys tuning in at home via the IFSC YouTube or the IOC YouTube. And welcome to Pretoria. This is the IFSC Africa Continental Championship. We've got climbers from all over the continent. And on the wall currently is Nicholas Allen.
Just disconnect this for a while.
Okay, that's fine.
And put yours.
All right. Just got a little bit of technical things going on there. And now I'm back. So we are in Pretoria, capital city of South Africa, at Loftus Versfeld, home of the Blue Bulls rugby team. And tomorrow, the finals will be streamed inside the stadium for everyone watching the match to see, which will be pretty exciting. And we've got currently men's semi-finals of the lead boulder discipline. So these guys have already done the bouldering and gotten as much as they can out of the possible 100 points they can get for bouldering. And now out of the lead, the most they can get is 100 points by getting to the top. And every hold from the top down decreases slightly in value. So you can see he's just passed the 30 holds. He's currently on 30 points. Add a little extra because he's done a few of those moves. So as he makes his way along here, adding 2 points per hold. And once he's a little bit higher, be adding 3 holds, 3 points per move. And there is a topo that the judges are using. Each of those handholds is worth a certain number of points. As he gets higher and higher, he gets more points. The goal in lead being to get as high as you possibly can on the route and to get as high as possible to get to the top and to get to the top in the quickest time possible as well. So Nick Allen doing really well. 3 minutes 20 still on the clock. He's only been climbing for 2 minutes 40 seconds. Makes a nice wide span there. Really comfy on that dynamic move into the penultimate red fiberglass hold. Now he's got to get his weight out, back to the right, using a toe hook there to pull his weight across. We saw Mal using his feet. Next leg's really working hard, but now that he's got that pinch, he's looking really comfy. Big move, just manages to stick the top. That thing is a bucket up there, guys. You can cart fish from the market or move cement in it. That really is a massive bucket. I think any climber that we see getting their tips on that will be able to stick it. Amazing climbing there from Nick Allen. You can see the sunny Gauteng sun descending onto his sweaty body. It's still hot here, guys. It's only 20 to 5 in the afternoon. The sun is shining. We've had a hot day of climbing. The bouldering this morning was pretty sweaty as well. A little later on, we got the ladies climbing in the evening. First bump from the B layer. Nothing like a top to put a smile on your dial. There's some of our officials, scorers, judges. Next climber out.
Okay, ladies and gents, put your hands together. We got our next climber coming out in his hometown. He's been traveling, but he's back. It's Damian Blocker. Come on, Damian!
There's a reason they're here in this Continental Championship. They're no slouch when it comes to moving vertically up little blobs of plastic. Aiming it in a nice high heel there. See how he rolls his foot up, allows it to take some of the weight of his body and keep his body into the wall. You can see just how steep that wall is from that way the quick draws are hanging. Quick draws being that stringy looking thing that the rope goes through. He's flipping one now. And that just gives you an idea of how upside down this wall is. Not quite a ceiling, but definitely not a vertical wall, that's for sure. Lots of heel hooks here today, guys. That's a really amazing technique. If you're just getting into climbing and you've never done a heel hook in your life, 10 out of 10 recommend it. Super important technique for taking weight off of your hands and making moves possible. Damian taking a moment to get a rest. He's the fastest we've seen so far of all the climbers to reach this point. Just 1.5 minutes so far used of his time. Gets a little bit of a smear there on the wall. Pushing with the right foot to move his body left. Climbing is so much about moving and moving your body from A to Z, A to B, via A to Z via B, C, D, E, F. I won't bore you with the whole alphabet. And Damian once again with a right heel hook there, just holding his body in, getting some time to talk, getting a nice high foot there. Pops into the undercling. Little bit of a snatch there, but he's in it now, up in that vertical, more comfy position. Gets a good right foot there, nice and stable. Skipping that left hand, yellow one that we've seen a few of the climbers use. It's going straight through to the 60. That's the last quick draw of the route, and all that's left is to clip the top, but he's got to make it there first, got to do some climbing. Looking nice and wide. Nice move there from Damian. Looking really strong still. Elbows starting to come out. All of a sudden, the fighting begins. Damian just not getting that left foot up. That would really have stabilized his body into that double Gaston. Really good climbing from Damian in a good time. Let's see how the scores stack up. If you guys aren't yet on the IFSC website or app giving you up-to-date results, you better get on that. We currently got a really good result here. I'm going to double check you on the scoring here. We got currently in first place 199.2 out of a possible 200. Mel Janssen van Rensburg sitting in first place. Damian started the lead with a Boulder score of 64. And I'll update you in a second as to how that lead performance affected his score. Awesome climbing there, Damian.
Well done, Damian.
All right, next climber coming out from Uganda. We got Emanuel. Good luck, sir. Okay, we saw him in the boulders. Didn't have the greatest performance, but we did really appreciate having one of the other African countries join us here this, I'd say weekend, but it's only Friday, joining us for the last few days of this competition. We saw two climbers, one from Mauritius, one from Uganda amongst the ladies. And now we getting started. Emanuel Onyango from Uganda. If I can possibly not hear myself, it's a bit distracting. Nice climbing there from Emanuel. He's got draw 1 clipped. Got draw 2 clipped. Coming up to clip number 3. Choosing not to clip from the higher black big hole, but the lower one. Getting nice and comfy there with her feet. Yeah, good climbing. So Emanuel commonly goes by Octavio. He is currently 24 years old, and he only discovered climbing in 2022, a year and a half ago. And he did a cycling trip with some Europeans who got him to give climbing a try. He did, and he loved it. Who can blame him? Climbing is such an amazing, addictive sport. And the climbing community is really what got him hooked, if you will. He's representing Mountain Club of Uganda and the country of Uganda. Can see a little bit of the Elvis leg happening there on his right foot. Getting that draw clip there. As soon as you have that draw clip, the panic seems to subside. It's such a crazy thing. If you've never done some lead climbing before, I definitely recommend giving it a try. And when you feel that Elvis leg coming on in, know that you just gotta drop your heel, calm your mind. Emanuel spending a lot of energy holding his body up so high here. You can see him dropping down for a second, looking to get a little rest, maybe get some chalk. Got to commit to this next big move out to the right here. He does, pops off just into the first overhanging section of the wall. Really good climbing for his first time here in South Africa. Good efforts, good efforts. Emanuel says he's hoping to take the experience of climbing here in South Africa, climbing at an IFSC event, back into Uganda, encouraging the future generation of climbers. Once upon a time, South Africa was in that place. We were at our first IFSC competition, and look at us now, hosting the IFSC Africa Continental Championship. What a privilege. Awesome climbing there from Team Uganda. Next climber coming on out, we got Seth Donald representing the green and gold.
Come on, Seth!
Seth currently ranked 12th with 34.5 points after the boulder. He's hoping to add, if he can get to that 60 hold, be close to 100, which is not a bad score. Little updates on the scoring here. Currently with almost 200 points, Mel Janssen van Rensburg. The only one with the potential of beating him is Christopher Cosser, who's on 99.9. Mel currently on 199.2 after topping the lead route. Seth looking nice and comfy through this first little section. Can tell when an athlete's not afraid to lose the feet and pop them back on the wall that they're pretty comfy in their movement. Swaps hands so he can do an easy, nice right-hand clip. Gets that high heel, not the shoe. It's a climbing movement. Up with his left foot, right next to his left hand, and now he's up. Looking for that little screw on the volume. Crossing right hand through. Looks like a good bucket. Good jug. Nice and easy to clip from. Nice up into the next screw-ons on the volume. See that thumb engaged on the left hand. Changes it to a close crimp and pops that left heel in again. As I mentioned with when Damian was climbing, the heels are super crucial. Bit of beta if you're climbing overhanging terrain like this. Nice little pop-up and sets into the 30 hold. So that's hold number 25 or move number 25 and 26. The 30 points hold. Seth
With a nice toe hook there with the right hand, just hold body horizontal and manages to hold the cut there. Gets a little left hook, big move, just manages to not commit. Left hand staying on the hold when he's off. Really good climbing there from Seth.
Our next climber coming out to the wall, we got Phaseon and Greaves, also from South Africa. All the rest of the climbers are going to be from South Africa, so I'm not going to tell you every time that they're from South Africa. You guys can tell by the color of their shirts anyway. I'm sure you're wearing your glasses. Phaseon cruising on up the wall, clipping that first draw. Nice and easy, clipping the second one as well. If you're tuning in from around the world, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the IFSC Africa Continental Championship. This is the event of events for climbers in South Africa, for climbers in Africa. This is the IFSC qualification event, as we are now an Olympic sport participating in the greatest of sporting spectacles. Phaseon has been to the Youth Worlds in Tokyo early this year. Had a little bit of the sickness that was in Tokyo and still did really well. Little view of the crowd. Can we cut to the climb on the wall, please? Nice climbing there from Phaseon. Moving pretty confidently through this steeper section, crossing through a little bit of a delicate clip there, but he manages to make it. So it's currently 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 to 5 in the afternoon in South Africa. We're on Central African time. If you're tuning in from around the world, this is Africa. This is sport climbing, and this is Phaseon. So that hold that's marked with the X is hold number 29 out of 46. And he's doing really well so far, Phaseon. He's got 4 minutes left on the clock. Seen a bit of dynamic movement here. Phaseon, no stranger to cutting and pasting. Moves super confidently up into the undercling. That left toe really nicely placed in. Flagging with the left foot on the wall to keep his body stable. Nice span off of the undercling, skipping that hold, coming into it now like we've seen a few other climbers do. Nice, delicate climbing here. He's into the 60. Got to find a good clipping position. Oh, super pump there. You can tell as the climbers are afraid to let go to clip, they know they're going to fall off, that the pump has set in. If you don't know what pump is, go hang on a pull-up bar for 10 minutes and tell me how your forearms feel. The word that should come to mind is pumped. And for these guys climbing up here, as they climb, the holds get further apart and smaller and harder to hold. So their fingers have to work extra hard to stay on, and the muscles in your forearms take that load. And you get pumped. It's the lack of oxygen, lack of nutrients into those muscles as they're so tense holding your body onto the wall that they just can't get the muscles firing anymore. They just start to cramp up. It's like a pre-cramp sensation. Those of you that have been climbing will know what I'm talking about. Phaseon. Really good climbing there. Heads back behind the wall. Last look at the wall. Gotta wonder, could I have gotten a little bit higher? Next climber coming out. All right, everybody. Let's get a round of applause for Christopher Cosser. Chris Cosser back in SA after some extended time training with the American team in Salt Lake City. He's been climbing inside, climbing outside, doing long runs in the mountains, getting his body and his mind conditioned. He represented SA and Africa at the Olympics in Tokyo 2020. Man's been doing a lot of competitions and done quite a few IFSC comps over the last little while in preparation for this big day. This is the competition that will get him back to the Olympics. I know it's a big goal of his, and he's really done SA proud as a representative. He was at the IFSC Youth Worlds in Dallas last year, working with the SA team, encouraging the younger climbers, being a really great role model. And having known Chris since he was knee-high to a grasshopper, it's amazing to see his development as a climber and a person. Super psyched with how he's doing in life and how he's doing in climbing. He's looking super confident so far on this climb. He's got 99.9 points from the bouldering round. That means he flashed 3 and got 1 on his second go. Almost a perfect round. And up into the 30s, getting some good points here. The only thing that can hold him back between this and the top is making a mistake. He's definitely got the physicality. We saw Mel top, and we know that he's gonna be worried about Chris chasing him. Luckily for them, we're not quite at the level yet of deciding. This is still the semi-finals, so the current goal of today's competition and today's climbing is to make it into the finals, which are going to happen tomorrow here at Loftus Versfeld in Pretoria. Just a heads up for you guys at home, the time on the screen is a little out, but the judges will have the accurate time, and I'm sure Chris has enough time getting that left foot smearing, pushing his body out like we've seen some of the other climbers not quite get. Nice flag with the left to keep his body stable. Easy move in there, nice and stable. Looking down, clipping, little grazie to the crowd, which are super psyched with that performance. Got to say, it's not unexpected to see Christopher Cosser topping a route at a competition. Got the crowd there, the team from Uganda. Oh yeah, fist bumps all around. Nothing like getting to the top, knowing that you've done everything possible to secure a good result. Crucial part of the climbing process is the B layer. Those guys at the bottom holding the rope. If you've done any climbing on any level that's required a B layer, you understand the level of trust that putting your life in someone else's hands requires. These guys are experienced competition climbers, and it's not such a big deal to them anymore. But if you've ever had a B layer save your life by catching you, send them a little good vibe thought and say, thanks mate, thanks for catching me, thanks for keeping me off of the ground. We like to think climbing is safe, but it is pretty extreme. Not as hardcore as some sports out there, but on the extreme end of the Olympics. It's definitely not shot puts, definitely not running in a straight line. This is climbing, problem solving, vertical chess. Up next on the wall, we got Luke Eberhard. These climbers will know based on how the crowd reacts. They're sitting behind the wall, they can't see anything, but they can hear, and they can hear the crowd cheering when someone gets to the top. Luke knows a few of his compatriots have already topped. If he wants to make it anywhere in this competition, he's going to have to get to the top himself. Not sure if you can hear the sound of the crowd. Jack Birmingham, well known for his cheering and supporting. Something super cool in the climbing space is how every climber is really supportive of the other climbers. It's a competition, and they are competing against each other. But what I found is very often they're competing with each other, putting on a show for the crowd, putting on a show for you guys at home, and having fun climbing unique movements set just for them. You can see each of these things on the wall. Got that nice gray wall, dark gray at the bottom, light gray at the top. Each of those colored blobs, those big black things, what are they? They're called volumes. They're made of wood, and they're screwed onto the wall, and those smaller colored things are the holds. They're made mainly of plastic, sometimes of fiberglass,
bit of polyurethane. And that's what the climbers use to make their way up the wall. And each of those things has been painstakingly placed by a route setter, someone who creates this puzzle, this problem that you got to solve with your body, with your mind. And if you put your body in the wrong place at the wrong time, holding on to them becomes impossible. If your body's in the right place at the right time, it becomes a bit easier. And if you got the strength of mind and the strength of body, you can make it to the top. Luke spent a lot of time of his life climbing, using his height there, doing that move nice and easy. Locking off the right hand, getting the left hand, elbow comes out for a second, and he matches the undercling, gets a chalk. You can see how that volume pushes the feet out, puts the body in a more vertical position. That allows the climbers to really rest, take a bit of weight onto their feet. And if you're standing on your feet like you're standing on the ground, then you don't even need your hands. But as soon as the wall kicks back to that slightly overhanging angle, and the steeper it gets, the more weight is required to be on your hands. Nice move there from Luke. Pops that right foot on to stabilize. And now he's got to make sure to get the left to keep his body in a good place there. Yeah, he does sink slow. Got the feet a little higher there, and that pushed his bum out, his hips out, shoulders out a little further away from the wall, and that means you really got to hold on there. Tony cruising in the background. Sees Luke on the ground, little shaka. Guys can see we sitting in a little bit of shade, a little bit of cloud cover is over the stadium. Good thing for the crowd. They've been baking in the sun for the last little while. We've been going for just under an hour. And if they had been on it, they were in sunblock. I've seen a lot of red faces, a lot of red shoulders. My nose is red. My cheeks are red. I haven't been putting on sunblock like my mama told me.
Awesome climbing there from Luke. Up next, Colin Curtis. Have you guys been putting on sunblock? Just because the clouds are out doesn't mean you're not going to get burned. Elka, are you wearing sunblock?
Calren moving off into this easy first section. I guess he's going to double tap. The sure confidence of an experienced sport climber. Saving some time and energy, clipping from two different holds. Just do it all at the same time. Calren with his lanky body, taking advantage of the good holds at the start of the route here. Taking a moment to chalk, putting that white magnesium carbonate on his fingers. If you've seen the gymnasts chalking up before their routines, it's a very similar thing. This chalk just designed specifically for climbers. Cal nice and comfy in this terrain. He's done many hard climbs. Currently staying in the Western Cape, been doing a few first ascents, and grew up in Johannesburg, spent a lot of time in Boerwen, in Fernkloof, at Trospile. Doesn't sound like a great crag, but let me tell you folks, Trospile has some of the best routes in Gauteng. Definitely worth a trip. Can see Carl, bit of close crimping there, using his thumbs on those smaller holds, popping in the heel, clipping from a little lower than we've seen the other climbers clip from. Moves his feet around, not heel hooking as we've seen other guys doing, but getting the double toe hook there, nice and comfy, using the top of his feet to hold his body weight, take some weight off of the hands. Nice comfy position there. Cole really flexible, really strong, taking advantage of that big fiber dual text. You can see the bottom part of that hold is smooth and shiny, not much to hold on to there, but the top part where the white is really holding the chalk. That's the great texture that you want to be hanging on to. Nice climbing, yeah. Getting that clip drawn, quick draw, clip nice and quick. using his long legs to put a little bit of weight on the left foot, but really better to just cut and paste, getting into the undercling. Can see Carl starting to get a little pumped, taking a moment. Can see where his right hand is not very positive, slightly on angle hold there. And being a slightly taller climber, this undercling might not feel so great for him. Can see a little bit of the panic starting to arrive. Carl losing a bit of that slow, smooth movement that usually characterizes his climbing. I can tell you folks, these climbs ain't easy. Just because we've seen a few tops doesn't mean everyone will, and it doesn't mean the climbing is easy. You can see muscles working, biceps engaging. Really nice climbing there from Colin Curtis, falling just into the section of the 60s, and that's hold 41 that he fell off of there. Just a little update for you on the scores there. Christopher Cosser, 199.9 points, near perfect score. Mel Janssen van Rensburg, 199.2. These guys are neck and neck, both of them friends, climbing partners, and competitors for this Olympic position in this combined discipline of speed and boulder. All right. Good climbing, Carl. Up next, we got Josh Greaves. The crowd growing a little as the sun hides, looking to see how these guys are doing, who's going to make it into the finals, who they're going to be watching tomorrow evening. Nice climbing there from Josh Greaves. See the sun popping out a little bit there. Josh Greaves, SA climber. Nice and comfy on this first section of the route. Interesting to see what style of chalking up different climbers use. Josh going for a little wiggle there. I'm a fan of a chalk ball and powder chalk in my chalk bag, so I got something to squeeze. Some climbers choosing the thumb in, some climbers choosing the thumb out. In the comp context, having a well chalked up thumb is super important, as you'll see in a little bit. This next move really requires squeezing with the thumb on the corner of that volume, taking a lot of the weight off of the fingers and allowing a bit of compression there, making everything a bit better. Using the right hand to pull his body up, left hand assisting. Nice little clip there. And this is a good chance for the good opportunity for the climbers to catch their breath. Have a look at what's coming next on the wall. Josh checking that out, saying, ooh, okay, guess I better get going before I get too pumped. It's a weird balance between getting pumped and getting recovered if you are shaking out. Nice move there from Josh. Really pressing his body higher with the left foot there. Oh, a little bit of a fumble there. If he'd popped that heel hook in, really would have made a difference. But good climbing from Josh Greaves. Next climber on the start list is Ethan Pearman, but he has withdrawn after the bouldering due to a shoulder niggle, deciding to take a moment, fight another day. rather than risk a serious injury that can put him out of climbing. That's Josh Greaves that you just watched heading back into the isolation zone. Next climber out on the wall is going to be Tony Flynn.
Okay, everybody put your hands together. We got Tony Flynn coming out to do some climbing. Sorry. Like some cream in my eye, sunblock. Just two.
Tony with a Boulder score of 64. So if he gets to the top, that'll put him in a possible 4th place ahead of Alistair Stubbs. These climbers are just hoping to be in the top 8 to make it into the semi-finals. The finals. This is the semi-finals. What am I saying? I feel like I've been talking on this microphone all day. Hope you guys have been enjoying the commentary. Tony pulling up a big armful of slack there. Pops that heel in. Gets a little chalky chalk. See, there's a little screw on that yellow hole there that makes it a little better to hold. And small screw on the volume up into that good clip and hold. Nice twisting of the body. Big part of climbing on overhanging terrain like this is twisting your hips to the left and the right. Getting your body in as straight a line as possible. Transferring weight onto your feet so that you're not hanging on your hands the entire time. Could imagine someone is strong enough to climb this using only their hands. Possibly, possibly not. But in a competition, you want to save as much energy as possible by using your legs as much as possible. They carry your body around all day. Your hands just hold your phone, and if you're a climber like these guys, does some fingerboarding. Tony hesitating for a second here. Needs to get the good feet. A little tricky. Yeah, nice movement from there. Nice movement from Tony. Getting in that heel like we saw Josh struggling to do. And now we've got a little bit of a pop here. The feet aren't great in this section. And it's good to see Tony taking a moment, catching a breath. He knows what he's got to do. Now that he's calm, he does it, really executes it well. Misses the chalk bag, finds it up into that undercling. Smooth climbing there from Tony Flynn. Gets a good toe. Super pumped and just pops off that 60 hold. That's a good climbing from Tony. We saw him definitely in the top half of the field. We'll see how the results look after that. We've only got one climber left to come on out. And pretty soon after this, we'll know the final climber out is Luke Westman, currently sitting on 28 points after the bouldering. The best he can hope for is taking position number 9 ahead of Tony. Tony now after the lead with 121. That puts him in 9th place. Unfortunately, not going to make the semis. Guaranteed in the semis, we've got Christopher Cosser, Mel Janse van Rensburg, Nicholas Allen, Alistair Stubbs, Damian Blocker, Colin Curtis, Jack Birmingham. We've got Luke Eberhard. And the possibility for Luke Westman to make it with a top.
All right, everybody. Our final climb out for the male lead semi-final. Luke Westman.
Quick check-in with the judges there. Quick chalk up. He's got 40 seconds to get himself ready. And puts a chalk bag back at the back, the most common position to put your chalk bag. Unless you're climbing in a chimney, then it works better at the front. Luke climbing so quick, he's ahead of the cameraman. That's better. 2 draws clip for Luke. Gets up a little higher, the first person we've seen to clip that draw from such a high position. This climbing is easy, but it's important not to waste your energy. Got lots of hard stuff, hard moves coming up, as we've seen. We saw some climbers floating through those sections. Saw Tony struggle a little bit, and we saw some climbers not even make it. Luke taking a moment to find the feet, spending a lot of energy on his arms there. Nice move. See that good left hand thumb, right hand coming to the little jib on that. Nice big yellow fiber. Takes a moment to just redo the shoe. Nothing worse than your shoelaces coming undone. At least if you got straps, you can strap them up again. Big move from Luke there on that overhanging terrain. Gets that heel hook nice and solid. Can see his thumb in the bolt hole there, which is allowed. Adds a little extra. Now with his hands up onto the head wall, feet still on that overhanging terrain. It's hard to put your weight onto your feet, and Luke does pretty well moving across there. Just got to find a good spot. Yeah, nice climbing from Luke. He's got to get a top if he's going to make it into the semis. And so far he's looking good. Let's see if he can do this next move. Yeah, nice commitment from Luke Westman up into the undercling. Gets a good position there. Choosing the higher right foot, dropping the right foot down, give him a little chance to breathe, but still overhanging. Nice. Oh, just falling at the same point that we saw Tony fall. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hope you guys have enjoyed this round of lead climbing from the men. Stay tuned, hang around. We got the ladies coming on out for Boulder and lead semi-final in a little bit. We will catch you later. And for you guys on the live feed, shout out for tuning in, for spectating, for embracing the spectacle that is competition climbing. We hope you've enjoyed watching these South African and African, Ugandan, South African athletes on the wall today. My name is Alistair Fenton. This has been the men's semi-final combined for lead and Boulder. Yesterday we saw the speed which happened. We already have 2 South Africans making their way to the Olympics to compete in the discipline known as speed. This is the discipline known as lead and Boulder. And we got Luke Eberhard, Jack Birmingham, Colin Curtis, Damian Blocker, Alistair Stubbs, Nicholas Allen, Mel Janssen van Rensburg, and Christopher Cosser. You'll be seeing them tomorrow in the finals. A little while later, we got the ladies. So tune in. Thank you very much. My name is Alistair Fenton. This is IFSC Africa. See you later.